Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about, well, it's obvious based on the title of this video, is how to choose yourself. As the year is coming to a close, some of y'all have been making reflections and I've been posting them on social media, and I thought I might as well do the same. Made a short version TikTok on this, which I'll put in the link below, and then I will now put a YouTube video on this, a stream of consciousness, if you will, on how to choose yourself. That's one of the prime lessons I've actually learned throughout the year of 2023 and throughout previous years as well. So let's get to it. Before we get to the content, please be sure to like this video, subscribe so you can get more content in oil and gas and professional development topics, and please be sure to comment on the video below so I can incorporate your feedback into future videos. Please be sure to hit that notification bell when you do subscribe, because I upload whenever I want. Now we'll get to the content. Okay, on how to choose yourself, let me give you a scenario. You graduated with a petroleum engineering degree, a geology degree. You graduated with a hard skill degree. You're entering the workforce. And when you get your first job, you try to prove yourself by working long hours, taking assignments that people are not going to take assignments for. You're going to take weekend shifts. You're going to go out on the rig more often than usual. You're going to spend an all-nighter in a frac van. And if any of that sounds familiar, it's because I went through all that. I was the one who took the extra mile earlier on in my career to not just prove myself, but also learn as many skills as possible. But there were several lessons I learned throughout that process. One, that wasn't going to be sustainable. And two, well, it only takes so much time to learn something so fast. What I mean to say is you got to be patient with yourself. And that's when I came to the conclusion that I progressed in my career on choosing myself. And I want to share that with you. So how in the world do you choose yourself? The first thing I'd like to talk about, and this is something that you might relate to, is making time for hobbies. No, you can't say that you don't have time for hobbies. You're choosing to not make time for your hobbies. I don't care if you're working 12 to 16-hour shifts. You can still make time to work out 30 minutes, or you can still make time to work out 45 minutes, or still play around at golf, taking one of your days off. What I'm trying to say is, yes, I know it's hard, but if you choose yourself and reinvigorate that spark inside you to rekindle of what exactly that makes you or keeps you going, and that's outside of work, they're your hobbies. So I would strongly suggest you pursue your hobbies and not sell your soul to your job. The second thing I would like to talk to you about in how to choose yourself is understanding your limits. When I started out in my career, I remember being in a frac van 2 days in a row and not sleeping for 40 hours because I was just so stoked to learn about frac. Well, I learned what my physical limitations were. I was hallucinating and my eyes were so deep set and I was extremely hungry. That's when I learned that I needed to understand what my limits are, whether they're physical and they're mental, and learn that there are other sustainable ways of learning. And that's something I want to share with you. Whether if you spent 48 hours in a frac van, or whether if you spent pumping for 5 days straight, or getting calls in the middle of the night to go out on location and make sure that well is okay, learning what your physical and mental limits are, and then making appropriate time to recuperate from all of that is something that's really important. The next thing I'm going to talk about, it is a little bit touchy of a subject, but I think it's worth talking about, is knowing when to walk away. When you choose yourself, knowing when to walk away a situation that is not optimal for you to thrive in. You can call it a toxic situation. You can call it a stressful situation. Call it any kind of situation that you want, but it's not an optimal situation. That's the best way I'm going to call it. Knowing when to walk away from those situations and learning when to say enough is enough is not selfish. In fact, I would argue that it's a power move, if you ask me. Learning how to walk away is one of the most empowering things that you can do. Now, I'm going to have a caveat to this. There was a post that I made that as I progressed in my career, life is too short for an unhealthy amount of stress. And that's true. But I had another person comment that sometimes the stress could even be working at a stressful job, but knowing that if you don't have that job, you're not going to be paying those bills. So that's when I come in and say you have to pick your poison. You may work in a non-optimal job for you, but it avoids another stressful situation when it comes to finances. So you would have to pick your poison, and then you have to learn how to optimally work in a non-optimal environment, which is where the previous 2 points come in, as in making time for your hobbies and learning what your limits are and respecting those limits. The final thing I'm going to say is changing your mindset. That is how you're going to choose yourself. Changing your mindset in that choosing yourself is not something selfish. It is sustainable, another S word. When you switch your mindset from selfish to sustainable, it becomes a liberating feeling. I know it was a liberating feeling for me. I hope it becomes a liberating feeling for you once you change your mindset in choosing yourself, because when you fill your own cup, how are you going to fill other people's cups? That's another way to look at it, if your heart is meant to serve. And I know my heart is meant to serve, and I realized I was depleting myself, and how was I going to optimally perform for other people? I hope this video has been very informative for you when it comes to self-care, or when it comes to even thriving in this industry. For more information, for more content like this, please be sure to subscribe, reach out to me, and I really hope you have a safe and joyful holiday season. Bye now.